and this is your channel Inglés para tu vida. Today we have a very interesting class, the differences between do and make. But before we start, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to Inglés para tu vida. It's absolutely free. And don't forget to share this video with all the people who want to learn English. So, this is a headache for most of English students. When do we use do? When do we use make? In my language, these two verbs mean exactly the same. So, what's the difference? Let's see. For example, when you talk about do, you talk about actions that are repetitive, alright? Most of the examples are in present simple, since present simple indicates habits and routines, right? Now, also, we use do if we talk about obligation. For example, I do my homework every day. I do my homework every night. It means that I have an obligation. I have to do it all the time, right? In the case of multiple actions, which is very interesting, before we go to the board, I'd like to picture this image, all right? If I say, I have to do the dishes, right? Or I'm going to do the dishes. So if I use this verb contains many other verbs like washing the dishes, drying the dishes, etc. All right? So I use only one verb, do the dishes, to indicate multiple actions, several actions in one word. All right? Have a look at here. If I say I'm going to do my hair, it may mean that I'm going to wash it, I'm going to cut it, I'm going to fix it, I'm going to do something, I'm going to dye it in order to do my hair. And if I use do my nails, it means that I'm going to clean them, cut them, polish them, etc. So with these examples, I'm checking the idea that we have several actions in only one word, all right? So in these cases, we use the verb do. Let's continue with the verb make. Now, let's talk about make. When we talk about make, we mean that we are creating something for the first time. It didn't exist, but now it does, right? So it's the first time that we create something. We use make. Also, when you can touch something, all right? You can touch it, right? We use make when we talk about decisions. For example, you have to make a decision about moving, all right? Something you choose. You are choosing something. Are you going to move or are you going to stay? So we use make with the word decision. When we talk about production, and there's a difference between creation and production. For example, imagine the person who created this marker for the first time, so that's make, right? But when you produce it, it means that you are going to reproduce it or make more of something. In this case, you are going to use make, right? Also, make is used when we talk about speaking, and you're going to say speaking? Yes, have a look. If I say that the president made a speech about economics, I'm using the verb make. Why make? Because you are producing ideas, right? He produced ideas in order to make his speech. Also, have a look at this expression, don't make a noise, right? Talking about speaking, don't make a noise. So when we talk about this expression, we use make. And make a comment. Make a comment below this video so that we check if this class is interesting for you, all right? So this is the use of make. Let's recap. When we talk about creation, when you create something for the first time, when you can touch something, so it's tangible, when you have to make a decision and you are choosing between one thing or the other, when you produce or make more of one product that you created, for example. And when we talk about speaking, for speech, you make a speech. If you talk about noise, don't make noise. Or a comment, you also make a comment. Let's continue. Now, we have some collocations. What are collocations? Are expressions that go with make or go with do. And whenever you see them, you are going to say, oh, that's do. Oh, there I'm going to use make. Let's have a look at the collocations with do. For example, when we talk about our housework, right? We talk about doing the chores. What does it mean, doing the chores? It means, for example, that you have to clean your house, that you have to make your bed, that you have to do work house, right? So sometimes kids say, oh, sorry, I can't go out tonight because I have to do my chores. It means that you have to do a lot of things in your house, but non-paid, all right? It's just your responsibility, all right? Here we have, for example, in the housework, the dishes. So you say you do the dishes. Why? Because when we talk about do the dishes, you include several verbs, right? Like washing, like drying, etc. and order them. In the case of laundry, it's the same. So you said, I'm doing the laundry, right? So I have to check the clothes, put it into the washing machine, add the detergent, etc. And it's all a process. So in one word, we say, do the laundry. Do the yard work. So what's the meaning of yard? The backyard and the back part of our houses, right? And in this word, I'm going to do the yard or do the yard work. I'm talking about, for example, putting more beautiful my garden, right? Putting more beautiful the flowers, the plants. Similar like doing my hair. So I have to wash it, I have to fix it, I have to dye it or cut it, but we have to improve it, put it more beautiful, all right? So this is about your housework and we use do. What happens with work? When we talk about collocations about work, we can mention homework, right? Homework. Why? Homework also includes a list of verbs that are writing or reading and etc. right? Many things that you do in order to present your homework. Investigation, research, etc. In the kind of business, also do homework, you do business and you do a report because you have to write, research, investigate, etc. All right? Also, in the case of do, we are going to talk about collocations that deal with your body. And here you have expressions like I'm going to do my hair or I'm going to do my nails. It means that you are going to clean them or fix them or comb them in a different way. All right? So these collocations are going to help you notice that you are going to use do. So let's recap. Do the dishes, do the laundry, do the yard work, do homework, do business, do a report, and do your hair and do your nails. All right? Excellent. Let's see make. All right, now let's talk about the collocations that we have with make, right? The first one is about communication. So you make a call, right? You make a call, it means that you call your friend, you call your husband or your wife. You make excuses, it means that you invent something to avoid certain situations. So you don't want go to work the next day, so you make an excuse, you invent something in order not to go there. Make a complaint. For example, if you are at the restaurant and you order something and the waiter gives you another meal, so you can make a complaint. You can talk to the manager, right? Also, we have make when we talk about food. For example, you make dinner, you make lunch, you make breakfast, all right? Everything that you create. In the case of coffee too, you make some coffee, for example. When we talk about plans, we use make. For example, make up your mind. In the previous example, we were talking about moving, right? So make up your mind. Are you going to stay here or are you going to move? That means to decide. Also, make a decision, right? Make a decision. Are you going to work as a teacher or are you going to work as a secretary, all right? Make a list. When you go to the supermarket and you don't want to forget what you have to buy, so you make a list in order to remember. Make an exception is something that only you are able to do in this moment. For example, we do not accept people with 78% in their exam of IELTS, for example, but we are going to make an exception with you. And that means that you are the only one who is going to take part in the team because you are an exception, something singular. In the case of make an example, and that's very funny, it means, let's imagine that you are in a classroom and one boy is talking and talking all the time and interrupting, and you as the teacher sit and say, all right, so Orlando, I think that you know very much. What about if you come here to the front of the class and you give the class to your partners? So you are taking Orlando and you are making an example of him, right? So everybody sees that and says, oh, I don't want to be in that situation, that's a bad situation, so better I'm going to keep in silence, all right? That means to make an example of someone, right? You are taking this person as a bad example of something that might happen if this person behaves not in a very good way, all right? So these are the collocations with make, and I want to talk to you about one exception. See you in a while. Okay, so I've been searching. Why do we say make bed, all right? Technically, it should be said do a bed, but we said make bed. Why? Well, let's suppose that you enter into your room and everything is in disorder. Your bed, there are a lot of, I don't know, towels or t-shirts, everything is in disorder. So when we talk about making your bed, what you are going to do is you are going to put your pillow over there, right? You are going to, that's my favorite blanket, you are going to put your blanket over there and then you are going to sleep well, right? In a way, you are going to create something nice. You are going to create something different. That's why I think you can say make a bed instead of do a bed. That's great. In a few seconds, I'm going to show you some examples and a reminder so that we check everything that we learned today. See you in a while. Okay, now let's see some exercises to check if we are going to use make or do. Have a look at the first one. I usually make or do dishes after dinner. So what do you think? Is it make? Is it do? You are right. So we say, I usually do dishes after dinner. Remember that we said dishes was a repetitive action and it included washing, drying, ordering, etc. So we use all the verbs in only one, that is do. Have a look at number 2. Can you make or do a lot of money? That's right. So we use make. Why? Because money is something that we can touch, right? We can have it in our hands, so we can produce it. Can you make a lot of money? Have a look at number 3. I make or do the laundry yesterday. We have to change the verb check here our indicator yesterday, so it means in the past. So is it? If you say did, you are right. I did the laundry yesterday. Laundry is another action that is repeated, and we need to put detergent into the washing machine, etc., etc. So in one word you say did laundry. And finally, do or make my bed every morning. Very good. I make my bed every morning. And as you remember, we were talking about why do we say make my bed and not do. Great. So, what about if you check the information that we learned in this video, and you can write in the part of the comments if you have an example, or if you have a question, or if you want me to do a second part of this class. I'll be glad to read all your comments. Thank you so much for your attention. Don't forget to subscribe to your channel Inglés para tu vida and share this video with all the people who want to learn English. Have a beautiful day. See you in our next class. Bye!